Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our Ask UWI about theatre arts. So again, a special welcome to all our viewers and our listeners who are joining us. I'm seeing them coming in. We have Dre, Alicia, Ariel, Moon. Welcome to everyone who's coming on board. For those of you who are here on time, thank you for joining us with our session this evening, our Ask UWI about theatre art session. And this session has been formulated for all of you guys who are interested in finding out just what theatre arts is all about. Maybe you're thinking about applying with us for our September intake, and you had a couple of questions for our team who are here anxiously awaiting your questions. Now is the time for you to clarify anything that you may need to. We've had several Ask UWI sessions over the last few months, and of course, they are all housed on our YouTube channel, so feel free to click and join us and look at various topics at various programs that we've had. And this session will be added to our log of sessions by next week, Monday. So maybe if it is you want to share it with a friend, you can do that. Because remember, our deadline date for applications is on July 30th. And we want to make sure that you don't miss that deadline date. So a few short weeks before we close off our applications, for those of you who would like to be with us on the beautiful St. Augustine campus from September 2025. My name is Nataki Kerr. I'm the Manager of Brand and Student Recruitment Marketing, and it is my pleasure to have you with us here this evening. Again, with us, we have our theatre arts team, and we have a special good evening and a special welcome to the senior lecturer and the head of the Department of Creative and Festival Arts. So he's the guy who's in charge of all the theatre art programs, Mr. Jessel Murray. With him this evening, we also are quite tickled pink to have with us a student. He's a third-year student in the theatre arts program, Mr. Jaden Noel, who's also here to give us a student's perspective into the various programs. In addition, we have our team, our theatre arts team, who are in the background there, waiting for you to use our chat platform and ask all your questions. So now is the time. Don't be shy. You can ask questions from now up until we end in the next short hour. So to get the ball rolling this evening, I would like to ask Mr. Murray, that's Mr. Jessel Murray, who, as I mentioned before, he's the head of the Department of Creative and Festival Arts. He's just going to give us an overview of all the wonderful programs we have at what we fondly called the DCFA. Mr. Murray, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, Ms. Kerr, and good afternoon, everybody out there. I'm delighted to join with all of you all, marketing and communications. Delighted to have Jaden Noel on board, who, of course, is going to give you a big insight into what sort of things that we have at our DCFA, Department of Creative and Festival Arts. One of the most lovely things about our DCFA is that we are tucked away, just away from the main campus on our own large and scenic private space. So we certainly invite you to come at any time to come and see what we have away from the so-called hustle and bustle of the main campus. But believe me, DCFA students have their own type of hustle and bustle. In fact, we are quite loud, and we like it just so, especially people in theater arts and music. We are quite loud. So overall, your areas of entry into this program are many. If you're currently a secondary school student who is either in CSEC or planning to be in CSEC, you can actually enter, as Jaden did, into one of our many certificate programs. Now, across the spectrum, we have performing arts and we have visual arts. At the certificate level, since today our concentration is on theater arts, we have two ways of entering. You can either be a practitioner, do the practitioner certificate, drama, theater, and education, which puts you sort of more front stage, or we can have you at one of the positions which are critically important within Trinidad and Tobago and the Greater Caribbean, which is our certificate in technical theater and production. Both are equally important because anybody front stage must be supported by lots of people backstage as well. So we offer training in both. And both of those happen to be one-year programs, which then give you entry into the degree in theater arts. Other programs as well that we offer a certificate in dance and dance education. That's a 1.5 year program. And again, it offers you a smooth ride, and I'll talk about that in a moment, into the degree program in dance. And as well, we have also two-year courses. One of them is the certificate in music, and the other is the certificate in visual arts. And all of those 5 certificate programs, once you graduate with what we call a B average and you apply again, you're automatically accepted into the degree programs. And the degree programs at the University of the West Indies are quite flexible. You can either choose to do 3-year programs, each of them full-time, or you can do a mixture of full-time and part-time, or you can do mostly part-time, which will take you 5 years. So that takes you from, so you can choose to enter after CSEC, or you can choose to enter to apply while doing CAPE. Some of you are maybe CAPE students right now who can go directly to and apply for the degree. And then after that, we still have postgraduate courses. When you're finished with your degree, we have a postgraduate program. It's a 1-year program in arts and cultural enterprise management. So critically important for us performing and visual artists. Or there's an MA in creative design entrepreneurship, the business of running your arts enterprise. So there's so many ways to come into our particular programs and thrive. In a recent recording, I said, we make hard work, yeah, so any program like this is hard work, but we make it fun because we want to make sure that when you finish either your certificate or your degree or your postgraduate degree, that you're fully equipped, and yet you can look back fondly and say, oh my goodness, I really enjoyed that. I'm so bored now, I might want to go back and do something else. This is life at the DCFA. And the lovely thing about it, in our quiet part of the campus, you are not restricted as a theater practitioner to just theater. You can do things in music. You can do things in visual arts. You can definitely do things in dance. And the lovely thing about it is that you would probably want to approach your colleagues in all those other disciplines to get them to help you. And I know that I can see Jaden Noel nodding because he has had the experience and he can talk about what it is like in each of the programs and how helpful all of these other students are. Besides just encouraging, they will come to get you through your particular programs and the very many productions. Before I hand back to Ms. Kerr, one of the things that I think you will enjoy here is that there's a lot of classroom learning, but even more important, we thrive on student productions and exhibitions. We do close to 40 public productions and exhibitions where your work is adjudicated, but the nice thing about it is that it's in the public. Our theater productions are in the public. There's lots of opportunity there. Our music productions are in the public. And in fact, we go, not just at UWI, we go all over the country doing them. Our dance programs, again, are done in the public. And our visual arts exhibitions, which normally occur at the end of the second year with a smaller one at the end of, the end of the second semester. There's a one at the end of the first semester. They're all done in public. So you're getting the experience of having the public look at your work and pre-approve it before you enter into fully professional life. This is what we offer here at the Department of Creative and Festival Arts, the DCFA. For those of you all, I love to make this particular clip. For those of you all who are ready to apply, if you are either in CSEC now, please don't wait. Apply now before or including the 30th of July, but don't give us a heart attack by doing it on the 30th of July. Same thing if you are in CAPE 2, apply now, because by the time your results come in, it would be too late. So we want to encourage you to come on board and to enjoy us here at the Department of Creative and Festival Arts, the DCFA. So I'm going to hand back to Ms. Kerr so that she can take us along a little bit further.
Thanks very much, Mr. Murray. And while you were talking, as you rightly said, I just saw Jaden nodding his head. So I know he is going to reiterate quite a few of the things you said and more. But before he starts us off, just a reminder to everyone who's here with us this evening, send us your questions. I'm seeing several questions coming up in the chat. And as I did mention, our team is really happy to respond. I am seeing Olainka said she's highly interested in the program. Not interested, she's highly interested. So she's going to be tuned in, especially to what Jaden has to say. And our team will also put the phone numbers, the extension numbers, in case you have any questions and you want to chat with someone in the next few weeks. We're going to put our email addresses. So in case you want to ask a particular question that pertains to your situation, email us. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear from you on the telephone. We'd love for you to email us. So we're going to put all our information in the chat for you. Having said that, I would now like to invite Jaden, our third-year theatre arts student who has done several programs actually at the DCFA, and he's going to tell you a little bit about his experience. Jaden?
Hi, good day, everyone. My name is Jaden Noel, and I'm here today to give you sort of a student testimony. So I'm currently pursuing my degree, third year at the department, my theatre arts degree. And I must say, I'm having such a good time. It's a complete change of pace from secondary school to university level. But when you're doing something such as theatre arts or the arts in general, it's a different set of workload. It's a bit more balanced as it pertains to the amount of work you have to do on the computer, typing essays and such, which you definitely have to do because all that is a part of the learning, but there's also a lot of practical elements that kind of allow you to kind of take a different approach to learning. Those who have done any work in the theatre arts knows that theatre arts is not just about performance and acting and your voice, but it's also about the entire aspect of a performance or production, and that includes stage work, management, stage hands, costuming, lighting, sound, and all of it is included in the degree program. You get to touch a little bit of everything, so you have a particular amount of knowledge from each area. So if you're interested in stage management, you have the opportunity to practice that. If you're interested in just light and sound, you can do that in the degree program, or there is the technical certificate, which focuses more on that background work. But then you also have the practitioner certificate in drama/theatre and education, which allows you to utilize theatre on a whole. It teaches you performance skills as well as technical theatre skills, but also being able to utilize theatre not only to teach, but to handle social issues, to work with many different types of people, students who may have learning issues or just problems at home, or not only students but companies who have issues with working together. That is what the theatre in education practitioner certificate really kind of guides you towards. But in your degree, you do have the opportunity to taste a little bit of everything. Theatre arts is not only, once again, about acting, performance, and stage work, but it does include, some musical elements, dance, the arts in general, visual arts as well. And at the department, you can choose to use some of your my brain slipped. To use some of your courses to do maybe a music course, a visual arts course that could help add to the ability that you are gaining at the department. Also, I saw a question earlier. Someone was asking about programs for people that are in secondary school. If you are not doing CSEC or CAPE this year, we are always looking for performers, you know, because there is the directing one course, which as a degree student you must do. And there's also the directing two course, which is a special course that happens when, you know, depending on how you do between your first year and second year at the department, you qualify for that directing two course where you put on an entire production at the Learning Resource Center on main campus. So that's light and sound, costume. You have to get a stage manager. And I myself has done the directing two course. So if you could see here, you know, directed by Jada Noel, the one I play that goes wrong. And that by itself was a beautiful experience. And having to work with, you know, visual art students and music students and such to build a production, because as Mr. Murray rightfully said, you would want to make a lot of friends in all of the different disciplines at the department. Because if you are interested in doing something like directing too, then you may need someone from visual arts to help with a design, you know, or you may need someone from the music unit to assist by, you know, by adding some music to the production. And dance, a lot of productions open or have dance included. So really and truly, the theater arts is the place where you would want to try your best to really make the entire department your family. But yes, if you are still at secondary school level, maybe Form 4 and have not done CXC as yet, you can check us at next semester. And I'm pretty sure if you're interested in performing, we will find something for you to perform in, because there's going to be a lot of directing one students putting on 30-minute scenes. And then there's going to be approximately 5 or 6 directing two students putting on 1-hour productions. And trust me, the Department of the Creative and Festival Arts is the place you want to be. Thank you. I'll hand it back to Ms. Kerr.
Thanks so much, Jada. And I think after that enthusiastic testimonial, everyone wants to sign up. We have some persons in our chat here who are asking for phone numbers. They want email addresses. They want to contact Mr. Murray maybe now because they're super interested in our programs and they want to join us for September 2025. And don't forget, guys, our deadline date for applications is July 30th. And as Mr. Murray said, let's not wait until July 30th or July 29th. Sign up now. Now is the time for you to sign up. One of the questions I saw we got earlier was about GATE, and everyone should be happy to know that our programs are GATE approved, and GATE regulations allow students to use GATE for both certificate and BA programs. So that's some good news. If you also want to apply for GATE, that's something that you should consider. And remember too, there may be some of you who came on a little late, but don't worry. We are going to upload a recording of this session, of this hour-long session on our YouTube channel by Monday. So by Monday, you could look out. You must follow us on our social media platforms to make sure you don't miss anything in case we have further sessions like these. I want to ask Mr. Murray if he could just tell us a bit about the dance program. I know that we have a beautiful dance program. Sometimes we see some of the clips and videos and learnings from the program, and it's always quite fascinating. Mr. Murray, can you tell us what can one expect if one wants to do dance?
Sure, Ms. Kerr. And I definitely also wanted to actually go back, first of all, to theater, and then I'll come back to dance. I just want to add to what Noel did say about the production and give it a sense. I don't have all the fingertips of the names of the courses as he does because he's been through them. But what I just wanted to do is to put it in context that in our every first semester, that students in the program who are in their final year, and it is competitive because the arts world is competitive, get to do, and this is why he showed you his particular his t-shirt. They get to choose a one-hour production, and they have to do everything in that production, from directing, recruiting a stage manager. We do the citing, we do limited finance, we do some finance, because life is about also learning how to get your own types of finance. But you get to direct a 1 hour play, and that's a select set of students. So that's an opportunity right there. As he said, they're normally 5 or 6, some years as high as 9. Next year, I know for sure there'll probably be about 5 or 6 that we'll be doing. If you are in that same first semester, all of the first years, I think Mr. Noel will correct me if I'm wrong, all of the first year students in a course where they have to direct scenes. Is that correct, Mr. Noel?
The second year
Is that
students,
second?
yeah, the
Right.
first year students assist the
They
production.
assist, right. Good. That's why to be reminded. So they all have to direct scenes, and we call that call the Festival of Scenes. And they do that over a weekend. And it's also in the last 2 years, we have joined it up actually with a visual arts craft market. And it's a very, very popular combination of the two that happens late November or early December. So you have opportunities as an actor, or if you just want to do tech, sometimes both, to do either those selected 1 hour plays or to do the Festival of Scenes, which are much shorter, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. All that we ask at any part of our endeavors is that you make the commitment, and then we will take care of it from there. The second semester is where the university, where we do our main stage play, which in the last 2 years has been done at Queen's Hall. We just recently had a play which is On the Line, which was quite a brilliant combination of a musical, local musical, Eric the Musical, but 5 students also got to write and produce their own 10-minute play in the middle. And I have to tell you, I saw it because I see all of them, and the production was just brilliant. Last year, same Queen's Hall, I know that Mr. Noel was a lead in The Lion and the Jewel, which was also done at Queen's Hall. So these are things that we get to look forward. And remember, if you come and you look at these, you'll say, wow, I want to be there on stage. But remember, there's an army of persons backstage who do everything from doing tech, their tech things, who do research, because we are much into multimedia to aid to things that we do, very exciting things here. So that's a context of the living document that is. And I would invite you to come and visit our lovely building, which is just off of Cheeseman Avenue. We have a relatively new building with lots of nice spaces, lots of nice foyer. I don't mind throwing in free Wi-Fi, etc., etc. Yes, I know that you all want to know that. Yes, as you walk in, yes, we have free Wi-Fi. Yes. So in terms of dance as well. So the dance has a dance certificate. We have 2 beautifully appointed dance studios. And there's a dance certificate and the dance degree. And like so many of our programs, it's multifaceted. We have a rich tradition at the University of the West Indies in folk dance. We're a repository of folk dance, but we also do modern. You also train, you must have some training in ballet, but also as well, we have electives in East Indian dance. The entire gamut of dance and dance studies operates at the Department of Creative and Festival Arts. As I said, our dance studios are relatively new and lots of people use them. We actually also have people who lease them from outside, but of course, the students are the ones who have the first dibs on the dance studio at any particular time. And we encourage people to come into our programs, whether you're coming in at the certificate level or you're coming in at the degree level. What is required is, besides your own academic attributes in dances, of course, is a mild audition. But the audition, of course, is critically important to demonstrate your technique and fit for purpose within the dance. And again, I want to remind that any of our certificates, once you graduate with a B average, then you're automatically accepted. You have to apply again, but you're automatically accepted into the degree program. And I do want to emphasize what Ms. Kerr said. Yes, our programs are gate supported from the certificate through the end of the degree. And that has been a real boon for us, because at one short time, we hope it will never happen again, that stopped for like half a year and caused us great panic. But I think with some exhortation and prayers and whatever else happened, we don't care. We just know that it was restored so that you have an easy and competitive time. So those are two of our major programs, the dance, and of course our featured program is theater. There's also still music and visual arts. Ms. Kerr, back to you.
Thanks so much, Mr. Murray. I really do reiterate that the dance studios are beautiful. They really are quite beautiful. I've seen some productions come from that space. So, I look forward to you all also enjoying our spaces. One of the things I wanted Mr. Murray to also touch on, and he did mention it to some extent, are the various career paths that one could expect to go into. I mean, it sounds as if it's very wide and varied, and he did mention a couple of them, but I just want him to chat about that some more for our listeners in terms of the career paths that one can get into, spanning from our visual arts, coming from our visual arts, our theater arts, programs.
Well, and I thank you, Ms. Kerr. I think you're still hearing me. Yes, you all are still hearing me. Should be. Right. Yes, I have not. Sometimes you go on to mute and you don't realize. A few years ago, we talked about what are the prospects of careers overall in creative and festival arts, because it's a thing that parents ask, it's a thing that grandparents ask, it's a thing that friends ask. And we said, besides performance, besides being an educator, I will talk about there are so many things that one can do within the ambit of creative and festival arts. So let's say if you are, and you just asked about dancer, in any of our particular things there is, and in fact, let me just go by saying, once you're in creative and festival arts, you and discover a combination of niches, meaning do not just be a performer or an educator or manager. Find the things that will work for you across the board. And I think Mr. Noel will know that because he does different sorts of things as well. He has also been a student leader, so he has learned management techniques as well as acting, as well as he has learned backstage things. So if you want to be in creative and festival arts, let's say you could be a person who does, let's say, part-time festivals critique, dance critique, theater arts critique. If you want to be in theater, you can be a theater manager, and this is why we offer or theater entrepreneurship. This is what we talked about in our postgraduate diploma in arts and cultural enterprise management, or our MA in creative design entrepreneurship. You can also, and we have a number of students in both theater. In fact, there's one now who's going to be running his own summer camp here. I can't give names because that would show favoritism. In fact, two of them running their summer camps, one for adults, one for children. So therefore, you can be an artistic director / entrepreneur. There, of course, teaching is incredibly important because we must always be passing on our knowledge to those who are younger. Then Trinidad and Tobago is part of Carnival Arts. If you're a theater arts person, you're definitely into the part of Carnival, which talks about the aiding the Carnival arts. Carnival is not just a visual pattern, but there's also quite a lot of theater that goes on. We are very proud that every carnival there, the Cambule riots reenactment, which are always peopled by persons from our particular department. Then the other students who have gone on past the theater arts with their degrees and gone on to masters and further in being a marketing or PR specialist, right? That's part of what you do. Or they have gone on to be a festival or an events specialist. Some of them go more broad into being an arts product specialist. Then I've mentioned it before, every production that we do in theater, dance, music, visual arts is aided by somebody who has to do some background research to add it to the purpose of what we do. So what I'll be able to say is there is so much that one can do, and you have to find your own particular set of skills. In a recent video, I said to people that I am a performer myself, but I have done theatrical productions, although I'm a musician, but I have done theatrical positions both as a producer, as a music and a music director, and as a recruiter. The other persons who within theater itself, I haven't even mentioned, who are the people who write the plays themselves. But the people who write the plays, the dramaturge persons, are not always the persons who produce them. Sometimes they think that somebody may be better at directing and producing them. Sometimes the persons reside, especially when you're younger, you may have the talent and the drive to do both. So I'm almost breathless with the possibilities of what you can do with a theater arts and a general degree. And I have not finished my list, but I want to yield back to Ms. Kerr because we only have an hour for you all to discuss.
Thanks so much, Mr. Murray. And while you are letting us know a bit more about the career paths and so on, some really great connections are happening on the chat. We have exchanges of emails and phone numbers. Information is being passed. We've been discussing our camps. We've been discussing programs for adults, programs for children, and we're seeing some really good information being exchanged, and we're quite happy. But while we are exchanging all this information, just keep my deadline dates in your sites, because remember, you've got to get all your paperwork in before July 30th. And as Mr. Murray mentioned, just drop by. You may want to drop by and see the facility. It may be the cincher you need to make a decision. Drop by and chat with our team, chat with Mr. Murray and his team. We'll be very, very happy to have you. One of the things that I wanted to ask Mr. Murray is in terms of the flexibility of the degree. When one has to choose electives, how flexible is the degree? Does it allow you to choose electives across like visual arts and dance and music and various things? Can you just explain how that part of it works?
I'm glad that you asked. Yeah, that's an interesting one at the degree level. Now, at the degree level, two of our programs are specials, and they're called specials, which is they're just majors with a twist, meaning that in visual arts and music, there's a higher concentration of required courses. So it's a little bit narrower at when you first start, and therefore, and your electives kick in more into your second and third years. However, in dance and theater arts, they're not considered specials. And I said, when you come, we will explain what special means. But in dance and theater arts, they're considered majors with ample spaces for electives. In fact, Jaden Noel, I think that's the word you were searching for just now, electives. Yes, I saw you going like, oh, the word has escaped me. I almost chimed in and I said, no, I don't want to cut in. Yes. So the electives are particularly encouraged at every level, because when you're doing theater arts, and I think Mr. Noel should chime in on this, you want to be as well read as possible across the faculty. And the faculty has so many things that are offered in terms of communication, in terms of history, and lots of other things, even outside of the DCFA, which will add, especially for those of you all who are considering in terms of writing, in terms of all things of recruiting, but you also need to research the material that you are doing. Am I correct in saying that, if I can jump across just to Mr. Doyle for a moment?
Sure. We'd love to hear from Jaden.
Somehow you're muted.
Hey, are you hearing me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Apologies. Yes, you're completely correct. When it comes to the theater arts degree, you want to be able to have a lot of different experiences that you can pull on, especially if you're interested.
We lost you again. Sure. So you're just doing some things, and we, as he's continuing on, I'll just fill in, because I saw something in the chat as well, that one of the things that allows us part of the flexibility is that students can also do minors, and minors are 5 courses on your second year and your third year, which also and minors are not restricted to being a part of the humanities in education, which is our parent faculty. You can take minors in practically any particular faculty, as long as you have the prerequisites for the courses that you're going to take. So, in fact, right now in theater arts, I can tell you, I'm giving away, there's a student who is doing a double major, not even a minor, in theater arts and business management. And she came and she asked me about that. I said, yes, that's just a matter of scheduling and everything else. So these are the sort of things that people want to do, because she clearly has an entrepreneurial bent and she wants to take advantage of the two of them. So a double major, of course, is more extensive, but a minor is quote unquote just 5 courses at what we call in our second year and third year. Jaden, I think we're back to you.
Yes, apologies. Yes. Are you hearing me now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. But yes, you want to be able, as it pertains to theater arts, to have a grasp on different elements. And there are a lot of electives available for that. I know some of my colleagues who have done um, dance as well as music courses with their theater arts degree, some who do visual arts electives as well as their theater arts degree, so that they are able to, when it comes to costume design, because there is costume fabrication, if I'm not mistaken, in the visual arts unit, that when you are a part of your theater arts degree, you now have a better aspect of dealing with costumes, especially carnival costumes, knowing that, we are the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and carnival is very important to us. In this degree, you will understand just how important the aspect of carnival is to us as Caribbean people. Not only that, but you also have the ability to do electives in film if you're interested in film courses. I myself has done an elective in film just to add to my theater arts degree. If you are very interested in musical theater, then you may want to do some vocal training and vocal work with the choral as part of and that's part of the music unit as well. There's the percussion unit that allows, there's so many different elements that you can utilize your electives for to add to your theater arts degree, which just broadens the scope of what you are capable of doing, especially when you graduate.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Jaden. And Mr. Murray, I know you're coming on there, but I want you to also share with us, and I know you are very involved in these things because Jaden, he touched on it in terms of the pan ensemble, in terms of the choir, in terms of what other, I don't want to say extracurricular because they are closely entwined, it's not the correct word. So you will help me with this, but all the other groups that, come from DCFA. Can you tell us a bit more about that? Because our prospects always want to know about the student experience,
Oh yeah, I always shiver the word extracurricular because I mean that's part of what people but just like even in sport. However, everything at the University of the West Indies, I use sport as an analogy, is curricular. Everything that is done is curricular. Some of the persons, like for instance, and you just described that within our particular music unit, there are 6 performing ensembles. And the things that we encourage, just as with theater, the persons who are doing it, many persons are doing it for credit. However, as part of our outreach from the university, we encourage our alumni and we encourage what we call community members to be a full part. What is the requirement? All we ask is that you be committed. That's it. I mean, because people feel that because the students have a grade on them, they're committed. No, we just ask any community member or alum, you have to be committed. We have leads, we have no stars. Everybody is equally valid and important. Yeah, so in the music unit, yes, we have our UWI Arts Chorale, we have our UWI Arts Percussion, we have 2 steel groups, the UWI Arts Steel, which is for advanced players, and we have the UWI Intermediate Steel, which is for emerging players, as well as we have an African drumming group, and we have an Indian classical group as well. All of these are open to persons of any type. Some of them have audition requirements, and including a little bit about the ability to read music, but they're all part of it. Similarly, dance has their major production in the first semester. And again, in order to be a part of the program, one would have to audition and demonstrate that you have the expertise, the experience, the technique to be a part of the dance productions. And it's the same thing when we take it right back to our star and in featured today, it would be that in theater arts, it's the same thing once again. So we have a lot of opportunities for our community members. I'm saying that, assuming that there are some parents and guardians who are on and say, you know what, well, if I'm going to drop them off, I used to do this, I still have the skills and we have that. Well, come on in and check it out and get reinvigorated with the things that you used to do. Now they will become the things that you will be doing. I wanted to just tap on one thing as well about our degree programs. Our degree programs at the University of the West Indies DCFA and others allow for quite a lot of flexibility. We understand that life happens to people. So therefore, the DCFA, there are persons who are able to do their programs in 3 years, but then there are other persons as well who will find out that they have to do it in 4 years. If you do all part-time, I may have mentioned this at the top of our program today, that they may do it in 5 years. And one of the things you can do any semester, and you should plan this with your advisors, is that you can change from part-time to full-time and back. Nobody's ever going to say, oh, this person again. Any semester, it depends on your student needs, but if you're doing it that way, please go glove in hand, hand in glove, sorry, with your advisor so that your advisor can help you to plot your way forward. And as well, we have summer courses for people to aid also in that flexibility. So there's quite a lot. The certificate programs, unfortunately, are not as flexible. They're set by semester, but the degree programs have a lot of flexibility. So Ms. Carr, that was a long response to but you had asked about that type of flexibility plus the other things as well. We're not hearing you though. Still not hearing you.
Are you hearing me now?
We are hearing you now.
Okay, great. I was wondering about...
Just lost you again. I think you and Jaden are having the same problem. It must be the hardware.
Yeah, my external mic died earlier, so I had to switch mics.
Nope, still not hearing you. Still not hearing you.
While she is sorting out the audio, I heard you mention about writing earlier, and there is a playwriting course.
Yes, I forgot that.
Yes, at the department that is coordinated by Dr. Travis Weeks, who, you know, is very well known for his writing. He's wrote a couple of plays. He's traveled recently, came back from Venezuela, where he showcased one of his plays with some alumni and students from the Department of Creative and Festival Arts. So that is something that can be looked at if you're interested and you just have a lot of ideas about what could become a production. We have the playwriting course that is available to you.
Yes, lots of possibilities here. And, you know, we really look forward to welcoming persons. I know Ms. Kerr just said it. If you just let us know, because I know a lot of the information has been shared. If you just let us know when you're coming in, we would be delighted to meet you face to face. Of course, we can always talk with you via WhatsApp and everything else, but we would be delighted to meet you face to face, show you around. It's quiet around here. If you come after the 14th, though, of July, it will not be quiet because we have about 4 or 5 camps carrying on at the same time. Lots of little people, our future. Yeah, we still can't hear you, Mr. Wow. And I'm seeing people, my name is in the chat a number of times, so I'll be very delighted for those of you all who are asking for it to respond to you all. So please feel free. Yes, Ms. Kerr. She just said, hi, Mr. Barry. So I'm waiting for her thing in the chat. All right. But I'm just looking through to see if there's any other thing. I know that one of the things about, one of the things that our department too has been wading into, and I think is really important, a part of our mission at the DCFA, is about mentoring. And this is so critically important that which is our alums, besides being adjunct lecturers, we also invite quite a lot of guest lecturers to come in to share and to coach across all the particular disciplines. So it's a critical part of the work that we do. One of the things that we have found, though, that we have to do more is the possibility of internships. And this particular summer, we started out. We've had some sort of internships, bit a bit, but we had got a little bit of the internships going. But it's one of the things which by next summer we want to have even more meaningfully. For instance, but one of the things, it doesn't pertain to theater, but I think theater may be interested. Right now, we're working on, as you come back in September, at the end of September, we're negotiating. In fact, we finished negotiating. We're going to be having a music conference, but it's about music production as well, which will involve any type of production, which will be at the end of September. And as part of the MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding, is that we are asking for types of internships to come out of that collaboration. And that's what we'd like to do. That's not just for music, but for all of the particular arts. I think that's critically important. In theater, I think it's critically important to know, and I don't know why students are quote unquote so slow in doing it. In your final year, second year to your final year, there's a very important scholarship called the Derek Walcott Bursary, which is available for level 2/level 3 students, any student in the Caribbean, not just Trinidad students. It's available. And I see many messages every year saying to people, it's available, apply, 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 because it comes with a fairly generous cash award. And so therefore, you know that also is a possibility. But the University of the West Indies also has other types of bursaries. And we encourage you, once you get in, go to the website, which has bursaries, and apply, apply, apply. You may be surprised at what will occur out of nowhere. Some students, they say, Mr. Murray, I'm going to this award ceremony. I got a bursary. I don't even know yet what it is. And then when they find out, okay, I'd applied for it, and there it is. So all of these are possibilities, because we know that students have particular needs when you come here. One of the things certainly we want to encourage you when you get here, and the nice thing about it at our department, and I think Mr. Noel will say the same thing, is that our lecturers are very accessible. We pride ourselves on being accessible. Part of it is the type of work that we do. Since we are in performance and we are in production and also we have visual artists, is that we have to be in contact with the persons that we mentor. So the first line of teaching and mentoring is from our lecturers here. And then we also invite our colleagues to come in to do even more mentoring. So therefore, there's a quote unquote there's a family atmosphere, but there's a parent and child relationship, if you want to call it that, where we're passing on the knowledge, we're hearing what you're saying, and their collaborations would go. But we do keep very close contact because we know our particular students on this campus. And then again, just to let you know, so we are located on the northern side of the Eastern Main Road, the DCFA. You will see a big sign saying Open Campus and a slightly smaller sign saying DCFA. You're welcome to come and see us at any time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Murray.
But poor Ms. Kerr and this microphone, can't get her on. I don't know what's going on today with that. Right? This happened. Believe me, Jade Noel and I, who are performers, we know about technical matters and what happens, and when you just have to say, what is going on today?
Murphy's Law always wins.
I think Murphy and the brothers and sisters law. No matter how well prepared that you have there. One of the things I'm seeing that Mrs. Ramla just posted a map. She also posted about the bursaries. One of the things that also we want to encourage you is when you come to the department, when you come to university, this is no longer secondary school. It's on you. But it also means if you have an idea, document it, pursue it. Once you are convincing about it, we will get it done. And especially in the arts world, what we're preparing you to do is don't wait for anybody else. I think Jane Noel can certainly speak because he has come to me as head many times and he has heard me say that, document it. Once you've documented, given me some costs, let's go. This is what we're preparing you for. And I want to say, that's going to be your life. Go on, I respond to that.
Yes, definitely. Someone asked earlier about quote unquote extracurriculars. But recently, and I must plug this in, I have, with the aid of the department and some fellow classmates of mine, reinstated the defunct Creative Arts Student Association. And it is through that, and being the previous Department of Creative and Festival Arts student representative under the Guild, Mr. Murray has heard a lot of me and I've heard a lot of him. And believe me, he has helped me in so many ways make a lot of things happen, not only for me personally, but for students in general, through an event that we did called the if you could help Mr. Murray.
Check the Scene, or
Check the Scene.
Check the Scene, which is created by Dr. Travis Weeks, who's the coordinator of theater arts. Go ahead.
Yes, so we've had Check the Scene, which is basically a student showcase that we host at the department, and then we carry it across over to the main campus, where we allow students to showcase their talent for anybody. It really becomes a kind of family gathering, in a sense, where everybody's like, oh my God, I have this song that I want to sing, or we was practicing this, and let's just showcase it, and then everybody just gets involved. It's so beautiful. And our last most successful event that we've had recently was our Easter Fun Day event, which had kite flying and so many prizes, that was sponsored by the department. So trust me, if you have an idea, if you have something and you really think it can be something, document it, go to them. They will assist in every way that they can, I promise.
We're hearing a little bit, but not much. I see it changed. Nice headset. Yeah, no. Yeah, but I know that we have time is floating down. I really can't emphasize enough as the Jade Noel is a practitioner, a pre-professional moving into the professional space. I work in the professional space. Nobody gives the arts a free pass. They're always happy when we do things. However, we are the ones who have our ideas. Go with your idea, push, and get off everything that is needed in this business. Whether you have a new dance idea, whether you have a theater art experience that you'd like to share with other persons, whether you have a music event, concerts or the like, whether you have a concert event that is going to have theatrical events inside of it, whether as part of it you're going to have visual arts in it, whether you're going to have a visual arts exhibition, which is not just a quote-unquote traditional one, but they're sort of living art things where you're also going to have theatrical elements. All of these are part of the arts pool, and all right, to what we will do here. So I just want to encourage you, as we are starting towards our last 7 minutes. I'm going to emphasize what Ms. Kerr has said over and over. For those of you all who may have just joined, for those of you all who joined halfway, for those of you all who would like to hear everything again and see the chat again, all of what we have done here today will be posted on the University of the West Indies YouTube channel. Just make sure that you follow us on the socials, sign up for it, and it will be posted by next week. Monday, you'll be able to access this. Anything of interest that has been here to you, we are delighted. And you can still say that you have a little time. Today is, of course, the 3rd of July. However, we are talking about the close off is the 30th of July, and we love to have you be a part of the University of the West Indies, but of course, more importantly, our DCFA family and our featured unit today, the Theatre Arts Unit. And because once you're part of the Theatre Arts Unit, you're part of DCFA, and you're part of everything that we do. You should continue to check the University of the West Indies' many social media platforms. There's always something happening from Facebook to IG and any of the others that are there, which will show you the diversity of what we do. And especially, we tend to folk DCFA with pardonable pride, because we're into performance and exhibition. We tend to be a part of those platforms quite a lot of the time. So we want to thank all of you all. We want to thank Nataki Kerr from Marketing and Communication and her entire team. We want to thank Jade Noel for giving of his things. And when you come here, you should memorize his face. You will see him when he comes here. He's very easy to approach. We want to thank off camera Mrs. Kelly Ramlal, who is the coordinator of the music unit. We want to thank Mr. Brendan Lakai, who is an instructor in theater. And who's also, again, will be very much available to take you through any of the theater stops. So we want to just say thank you so much for joining us on Ask UWI, and we look forward for you all to take in the next edition of Ask UWI as we tell you about the wonderful things at the University of the West Indies. Take care and bye-bye.